What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Just wanted to have some thoughts shared around the arrival set that just got announced. As you can see, some premium cards here around Giannis, Paige Beckers, Jimmy Butler, Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins. So this is officially the second premium entry. 2K actually gets released tomorrow officially across all regions for the non-early access users. So a lot of fish are going to be entering in playing online, which I'm pretty excited about. But I've been playing mostly Showdown. That's kind of like my primary mode that I've been grinding. And so this is going to be a very strategic addition to the set because obviously Giannis is really, I consider to be in the sort of like top 5 players that are usually the chase players. Players I would kind of put in that category, like Giannis, LeBron, Yao, Wemby, that sort of thing. So this is definitely just like right out of the gate. They're saying, hey, Giannis is in that set. Let's go get it. And shout out to Blasian for Blasian Ricks. Blasian One Invasion. I think he goes by Blasian Ricks. He's a major Giannis stan. Follow him on Twitter. He's a pretty good follow. A lot more positive than some of the other stuff on there. And by the way, guys, if you see comments like this on the right of my screen that they're just farming for engagement, this guy in particular, well known in the community, definitely has some issues around maturity, but don't a lot of players out there. And he's just doing this to farm engagement. He's not actually truly serious. Comment about Paige Beckers. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. So, as you know, we deployed the website for ranking all of the cards. And I talked about it a little bit when I made the announcement that the site is back up. And that, as expected, I'm actually a huge fan of the WNBA cards and make it into my team. I think it's great. I think there's actually a lot of opportunities to make these cards just as good as a lot of the other NBA cards that come in here. I do have some ideas around how to do that, which I'm going to save for another video. So just table that discussion for now. But Paige Beckers, I mean, right now, like her Series 1 card, I think the meta rating is somewhere around like the 30 to 33 range. I'm going to actually predict what these meta scores are going to be for these 5. Obviously, we don't know who else is going to be coming in the set. That'll be very interesting because there's actually some pretty high quality Amethyst and Diamond cards. But I'm actually going to use as a reference point going back to last year around this time. It's probably a little bit earlier because obviously we're still technically in the first week of NBA 2K, entering into the second week. But when I see these cards, for Jimmy, I think of Poetry in Motion, Jimmy from 2K25. Giannis, I think of like the Dunktober card, which honestly for 2-3 months, it was a solid pink diamond that carried a lot of people online and through challenges, and it was a premium card. And I actually expect this one to be at that level. Paige Beckers, I mean, at best, maybe she'll be in the 50s. They'll probably juice up her SIGs. As this gentleman mentioned, she's only 6 feet tall, and that is a problem. But again, I have some ideas around how to get around that for the developers of 2K, which I hope they'll listen to if I make enough noise about it. But I will save that. Andrew Wiggins, this is actually a very solid card as well. I think he was also in the Dunktober set along with Giannis. But yeah, so I mean, I think Giannis will clearly be the best card. I don't think he's going to be pushing 60 on the Metascore. It's possible that he does, because right now that's really in verified air. You see LeBron James, Pink Diamond Hidden Gem, featured Wild Gem for KG, Wemby 6189, Embiid 6456. The thing that all of those guys have in common is that their builds are really phenomenal. Even Julius Erving is 5956. And it's probably this card right now, to be honest. It's like the Giannis 59-51. I was actually going to predict something like a 58, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one. I'm probably not going to remove the hidden gems from the drops just because we'll leave them in there. I'll just add a filter so you can just see which cards were initially introduced as hidden gems. But it's probably this Giannis card, and if that's the case, well, he is going to be one of the elite cards in the game, obviously. But we have all these other Galaxy Opals and Dark Matters and things. But if you were just to restrict it down to pink diamond and higher, well, he's going to be in the top 5-6 cards that are going to be available in the game. That's just going to be the reality. So 2K is probably going to be looking to get a lot of money spent tomorrow. He's going to be the chase card. Jimmy Butler, I mean, it's not really necessarily going to be a chase card, but certainly he's going to be very good. Like I said, I was a massive fan of the 2K25 Poetry in Motion set. A lot of really great cards in there. If we go back here, this score got squashed, but originally, before a lot of the more elite cards started getting introduced over the season, Jimmy was in the same set as that legendary Diamond Pella Bonchero set from Poetry in Motion last year. And these cards are pretty much around 60 before they started getting squashed down from all the newer stuff. And then if we go back to Dunktober, you'll see Giannis was in there as 5164, and Andrew Wiggins was in the same set. And kind of a similar story here. This Giannis Dunktober was like around 60 or so, I remember. So it's kind of funny. I hate to use the term copy and paste, but this is kind of what I expect in terms of like what those cards will be like. And if they're anything close to last year, I more or less expect the Jimmy Butler and Giannis cards to be elite and Andrew Wiggins to be a really good budget card. Chris Paul is just not going to be very good. Another undersized point guard. And honestly, like his cards have just never been really good. There's been some sneaky like hidden gem Galaxy Opal stuff with him in the past. But again, I don't know if they're going to change anything with that. And then Paige Beckers, like I said, to Carlo's point, yes, she's going to be undersized, but I actually do expect them to juice some other SIGs and skills that she has. And it's going to be interesting to see how they can kind of close the chasm between the WNBA players and the NBA players. But yeah, all of the bitching and moaning about including the WNBA and NBA players into the set, I mean, you just got to like move on beyond that and think constructively of like, hey, what can they do to actually make this better? And what I'm predicting is that NBA 2K folks are going to be observing how those are going to be used over the season. This is obviously like literally the first 2 weeks that the stuff has been deployed out there in the entire history of 2K. So they're going to be spending a lot of time trying to balance the game and seeing how they can actually make these cards comparable to some of the other ones. And I think they can do it, but they have to get very creative, and I'll introduce some ideas around that in a future video in the near future. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to comment on this set. Again, one of the things that just isn't given enough credit is just how awesome the card art looks. I actually think this is really cool looking. But you're not going to be able to get these cards out of packs unless you spend a lot of money or just get really, really lucky, which does happen. People have a hard time computing probability, but the odds are not in our favor. But yeah, anyway, that'll do it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this set and, just kind of my commentary and what I think about these cards and how they'll kind of stack up. I think they're going to be very similar to kind of Dunktober and Poetry in Motion cards relative to this one. And I hope they actually introduce some nice quality Amethyst and Diamond cards because let's be honest, those are probably going to be the cards that we'll end up using anyway. So yeah, that'll do it. And I'll see y'all later. Take it easy.